Brock Lesnar's return announced. Triple H's issues with Karrion Kross and LA Knight exposed. Karrion Kross loses his family member. Triple H is jealous of Drew McIntyre. WWE Unreal exposed a disturbing truth about management. The Rock's daughter, Ava, speaks out on her horrifying car accident and hospitalization. A WWE legend has been rushed to the hospital. Stephanie McMahon makes a huge announcement on Naomi. Vince McMahon stole a WWE legend's look. John Cena's final match is going head-to-head with AEW World's End. Let's dive right in. Triple H's issues with Karrion Kross and LA Knight exposed. WWE's roster is packed with talent, but some big names aren't getting the push fans expect. According to inside sources, Triple H might be holding back stars like Drew McIntyre, Karrion Kross, and LA Knight for a surprising reason. These guys are hugely popular, yet their booking doesn't match their fan support. Kross, for example, was recently let go after his contract expired. On the Wrestling Outlaws, inside sources suggested Triple H could be envious of stars who outshine him in appearance. Everyone Triple H has a problem with. There is one thing they got in common. They are all impressive looking, okay? Drew McIntyre is impressive looking, bro, and need I say Drew McIntyre is much more fierce looking and dangerous looking than Triple H ever was. Who else does he have a problem with? Karrion Kross. What does Karrion Kross look like? Who else does he have a problem with? LA Knight, an inside source said. Kross opened up about his WWE exit on the Ariel Helwani show, revealing the company barely discussed his contract renewal until the last minute. Truth of the matter is, you've already stated my contract was up last week. I never actually received a contract, like an offer, until last week. I think it was Tuesday, off the top of my head. I got the offer. I wanted to know how they came to the valuation of that offer. Just wanted some information, some metrics, some analytics that's supporting to, hey, this is how we got here, Kross said. WWE didn't provide clear details about the new deal, and talks fell apart. On the Ariel Helwani show, Kross explained why he left but said he'd be open to returning to WWE, which he calls home, as long as his wife Scarlett gets a deal too. I would prefer to go back home with my wife, that's what I'd prefer to do, and let's give people what they want. Home meaning WWE? Absolutely. Despite the fact you've had multiple frustrations since you joined, you still want to go back. Yes? You still call it home? Yep, said Kross. Kross also mentioned that while smaller independent promotions have reached out, AEW hasn't contacted him yet, possibly thinking his WWE exit is part of a storyline. What do you think about Triple H's handling of Kross and Knight? Should WWE bring Kross and Scarlett back? Karrion Kross loses his family member. Karrion Kross is going through a tough time, both in and out of the ring. The Herald of Doomsday and his wife Scarlett recently left WWE, sparking debate about whether it's a storyline or real. Kross put the rumors to rest, confirming their departure is legit. While his final WWE days saw him feuding with Sami Zayn, he's also been dealing with a personal tragedy. On the Ariel Helwani show, Kross shared that his uncle Chris passed away just before his Night of Champions match against Zayn. Night of Champions was a little rough because one of my relatives, my uncle Chris, had passed away a little bit before Night of Champions, and the process of developing a service for him was taking a little bit. So, right around the time that my family had announced we were going to do a service for him, I got a call to ask me to go to Night of Champions. So, I told the person with the phone, let me call you back. Let me see how my family feels about this. Because I don't want to agree to anything over the phone. I'm thinking I'm going to the service. The match nearly didn't happen, but his family pushed him to compete, believing it's what his uncle would have wanted. So, that Night of Champions match didn't happen. I spoke to some of my relatives and they said, your Uncle Chris would want you to go to this match. You can grieve anytime you want. This is something that's coming around right now and it's important that you go. So, I had their support. What do you think about Kross's emotional journey during his WWE exit? How should he move forward after this personal loss? Triple H is jealous of Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre recently stirred the pot with harsh words about the WWE locker room, and not everyone's happy about it. The Scottish Warrior called out most of the roster, saying they don't look like wrestlers and need to hit the gym. While some think Triple H might not like those comments, inside sources believe McIntyre's got a point. On the Wrestling Outlaws, an inside source backed McIntyre, saying the wrestling business has lost its focus on physical standards. I would love, he goes on Logan Paul and he says that. What is Triple H gonna say to Drew? Oh, Drew, you can't say that. And Drew is gonna say why. I don't know how Triple H defend that, because what he is saying is absolutely true. And that's what a lot of people who watch wrestling in 2025 say, an inside source said. McIntyre didn't stop there. In an interview with the Sporting Capital, he took shots at John Cena's recent heel run, calling it a waste of time, and said he's ready to send the newly returned babyface into retirement. John Cena, that would be a fun match in Perth. I need to get one of those last matches. Now that he's Super Cena again, I don't want any part of these last 6 months. What a waste of time. Now that he's back to Super Cena, if that match happens eventually, I'll be very happy to send him right into retirement. He's doing a great job in Hollywood. Peacemaker is amazing. I'll be happy to kick him out the door and continue the good work he's doing outside of the company, McIntyre said. Inside sources also suggested that Triple H might be envious of McIntyre, which could explain why he's not getting the push he deserves. This is why I say you can't be one of the boys and write and book and be creative, because Chris How do we know? How do we know part of the issue is Triple H isn't jealous of Drew McIntyre? Come on, Chris, you and I both know. You don't think it's not killing Triple H that he can't work anymore? You don't think that's not killing him inside? An inside source said. What do you think about McIntyre's bold comments? Is Triple H's jealousy holding him back? Or is Drew out of line? WWE Unreal exposed a disturbing truth about management. A new Netflix series, WWE Unreal, has pulled back the curtain on WWE's backstage chaos, and not everyone's happy about what it showed. Inside sources recently slammed a segment featuring Chris Park, known as Abyss, and executive director Bruce Pritchard during the production of CM Punk vs. Seth Rollins for Raw's Netflix premiere. The match was a hit but ran overtime, forcing Park to tell the referee and wrestlers to cut some moves. Unreal captured the tense moment, showing Pritchard pushing a nervous Park to hurry things along. After the match, Park kept apologizing to Pritchard, who called the match overproduced and overwritten. On Sportskeeda's writing with Russo, an inside source called the scene pathetic, saying Park, a respected wrestler, shouldn't have to grovel. We saw how Chris Park was with Bruce. You saw it. Brother, you're a grown freaking man. At the end of the day, you did the best you could do and they went over. Bruce, I'm sorry about that. It won't happen again. But you could see the fear and the concern. Who wants a job like that, man? An inside source said. You're constantly looking for that pat on the back, that attaboy. Like, come on, man. Fans have also turned on Pritchard since the episode aired, calling him out for being too harsh and overbearing with producers. What do you think about the backstage drama shown in WWE Unreal? Was Pritchard too tough on Park, or is this just how things work behind the scenes? The Rock's daughter, Ava, speaks out on her horrifying car accident and hospitalization. Ava, The Rock's daughter and WWE NXT general manager, recently had to set the record straight after a false report claimed she was hospitalized following a car accident. The fake story, which included AI-generated images of her in a hospital bed, spread like wildfire online. The misleading post's caption read, "Sad news. 15 minutes ago, Dwayne Johnson's family heartbrokenly announced that Johnson's daughter, Ava Raine, was in a serious car accident on her way home." Ava, a regular face on NXT, quickly fired back on X, blasting the report as fake and calling out the people behind it. There is such a special place in hell for people who do stuff like this. Y'all are so weird. To make matters stranger, the post came from a Facebook account called Dog Community, which had nothing to do with dogs or wrestling. While Ava continues to shine on NXT, fans were let down when her father, The Rock, didn't appear at WrestleMania 41 despite his role in the build-up. He pushed a storyline targeting Cody Rhodes' soul, which led to John Cena's heel turn instead of Rhodes'. The Rock's absence from the event left Travis Scott's lackluster appearance as one of the show's low points. With no word on The Rock's return, fans are still holding out hope. What do you think about Ava calling out the fake report? Will The Rock make a comeback soon? A WWE legend has been rushed to the hospital. WWE referee Charles Robinson, a veteran official for over 20 years, was rushed to the hospital after a scary incident. Robinson shared on Instagram that he was bitten by a bat in the middle of the night, forcing him to seek emergency treatment. As fans and wrestlers sent their support, Nia Jax was quick to show love for the beloved ref. "Charles, you're the toughest," she wrote under Robinson's Instagram post. Robinson has officiated some of WWE's biggest matches, including high-profile debuts during his long career. Recently, he took a brutal hit during Goldberg's retirement match against Gunther, catching a spear meant for the ring general. Later, he revealed on Instagram that the move left him with a cracked rib. Meanwhile, Nia Jax has been making waves of her own. A couple of weeks ago, she shocked fans with a surprise NXT appearance, attacking Lash legend with the Annihilator. That led to a brawl on the August 5th episode of NXT after Jax beat Thea Hale. This week, Jax and Legend clashed in a hard-hitting match that had the NXT crowd glued to the action. Legend tried to powerbomb Jax off the top rope, but the irresistible force turned it around, hitting an Annihilator and following up with another to seal the victory. What do you think about Charles Robinson's wild ordeal? Will Nia Jax keep dominating in NXT? Stephanie McMahon makes a huge announcement on Naomi. Naomi's sudden absence from her Women's World Championship match against Sky on the latest Raw has left fans anxious, with no official word on why she was pulled. Amid the uncertainty, Stephanie McMahon made a huge announcement about the champion. On her podcast, What's Your Story?, Stephanie featured Naomi and her husband, Jimmy Uso, a record-breaking tag team champion. She hyped the episode on X, teasing a fun glimpse into the power couple's dynamic. Jimmy was the first to learn how to proceed with caution. "I wouldn't mess with Naomi, especially when she's mad." A brand new What's Your Story with Jimmy Uso and Naomi drops tomorrow wherever you get your podcasts, McMahon wrote on X. In a clip from the podcast, Stephanie asks Naomi about her new heel character, and Jimmy reveals that everything, including her wild laugh, comes straight from real life. The episode was likely recorded before Naomi's recent absence sparked concern. On Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez shared a troubling update, hinting at a serious issue that could sideline Naomi for a long time. There is definitely a rumor going around in WWE about what's going on with Naomi, and like it's being talked about by people there, and if it is, in fact, what's going on, she is going to be out for a long, long time. Okay, I'll just say that for now. My presumption is that, people will find out probably fairly soon, but I think that it would be a while, if this is the case, he said. Online chatter about Naomi's situation is growing, but it's best to avoid speculation out of respect for her privacy until WWE confirms anything. If the rumors are true, the Women's World Championship's future could be in question. What do you think about Naomi's absence? How should WWE handle the title if she's out for a while? Vince McMahon stole a WWE legend's look. A WWE legend has thrown shade at former WWE chairman Vince McMahon, claiming he jacked his iconic look. The Honky Tonk Man, a former Intercontinental Champion, took to X to point out that McMahon's new style, gray streak and dark combed-back hair, mimics one he rocked years ago. McMahon debuted the look in TMZ's The Real Hulk Hogan documentary. Honky Tonk Man, who signed a new WWE Legends deal earlier this year, posted an old photo of himself with Jerry Lawler, sporting a similar hairstyle. Vince HTM had the white streak before you, he wrote. The documentary focused on Hulk Hogan, who passed away on July 24th at 71 after a heart attack. McMahon, who had a close bond with Hogan despite past work issues, opened up about his shock at the loss. Shock. You just don't think about a family member or someone that close to you. You don't think about them passing away. Terry had kicked out, so to speak, of so many surgeries. I think he had like 20 surgeries on his back, plus others on his knees and hip or something, and he overcame all of that. It was a tremendous shock. It was a blow to my heart, he said. McMahon also expressed anger over fans booing Hogan during his final appearance at Raw's Netflix premiere. The special dove into Hogan's complex legacy, including his 2015 racist comments that led to his temporary removal from the WWE Hall of Fame. McMahon called the remarks unforgivable, but insisted Hogan wasn't a racist. Mark Henry, however, wasn't so forgiving, pointing to Hogan's own words. He said, in his words, that he was a racist. Why would I sit here and try to defend somebody that tells you who they were? It hurt. It hurt. I grew up watching the dude. I used to love that dude. I wanted to be like him. It hurts, Henry said on the TMZ special. Henry revealed he offered to help Hogan with his apology by suggesting a college tour to address the controversy, but Hogan declined. I told him then, and I told Vince McMahon, if y'all want this to go away, I know how to fix it. We should do a black college tour at Morehouse and Prairie View and hit the circuit. Go and talk to them and be honest with your apology. He was like, I've been advised not to talk about it no more. I said, I think that's bad advice, Henry mentioned. At the documentary's close, Henry reflected on Hogan's impact on wrestling. Absolutely not. Hogan was able to show people the template of what it takes to entertain people. Regardless of his shortcomings, it didn't make him less of a wrestler. It didn't make him less of an entertainer. It's never going to take away from his greatness, he said. Henry's words capture Hogan's legacy, a game changer in wrestling with a complicated past. What do you think of Honky Tonk Man's jab at McMahon? How do you view Hogan's legacy? John Cena's final match is going head-to-head with AEW World's End. John Cena's retirement tour is winding down with just 4 months to go, but WWE hasn't nailed down the date for his last match. Now it seems they're thinking about shaking things up to take on AEW. On Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez shared that WWE is considering moving Cena's final match to December 27th, the same day as AEW's World's End, instead of the original plan for early December at Saturday night's main event. I also should mention this because we've been talking about it. So, originally the final John Cena match was going to be in early December, Saturday night's main event. And this is not confirmed, okay, but it does look like there is now discussion that that date will be moved, so it will be head-to-head with AEW World's End. And we did talk about how there was going to be one more of these before the year was out, and I think they're going to try and put the final John Cena match on Saturday night's main event in Boston, head-to-head with World's End. So, we'll see if that ends up happening, Alvarez said. This follows earlier reports that WWE hasn't finalized Cena's retirement tour plans. It's no shock that WWE might want to go toe-to-toe with AEW, as they've already scheduled shows against them and plan to do more. It remains to be seen if WWE will pit Cena's big farewell against World's End. What do you think about WWE scheduling Cena's final match to compete with AEW? Should they let it shine on its own? Brock Lesnar's return announced. Brock Lesnar's shocking attack on John Cena at SummerSlam 2025 stole the show, setting the stage for an epic showdown. Fans expected the two titans to collide at Clash in Paris, but with Cena booked against Logan Paul, WWE is holding off on this massive feud. Reports suggest the company is saving Cena versus Lesnar for a yet-to-be-announced premium live event next month. WWE's website now confirms Lesnar will appear on the September 12th and 19th episodes of SmackDown, and things are about to get wild. Brock's back, and he's ready to wreck everything, an inside source said. The Beast incarnate is known for his raw power and chaos-causing nature. When he steps onto SmackDown, don't expect a warm welcome speech. Lesnar could go straight for John Cena, unleashing a brutal attack to send a message that he's back to dominate his old rival. He might even call out the franchise player. demanding a fight. If General Manager Nick Aldis tries to step in, Lesnar could take him out, along with any security in his way, proving he's a force like no other. Lesnar might use his SmackDown return to challenge Cena directly for the rumored September event, possibly Bad Blood or Crown Jewel. This could kick off a multi-match rivalry, with some believing Lesnar will be Cena's final opponent before retirement. While Cena faces Logan Paul at Clash in Paris, a win there might just lead into a bigger battle with Lesnar. On SmackDown, Lesnar could bring a contract and lay out why he attacked Cena, claiming the leader of Cenation only got his spotlight when Lesnar left. "He was always second to me," Lesnar might say. "I'm here to end him for good." What do you think of Lesnar's return plan? Should he be Cena's last opponent ever?